Hey everyone, so today we're going to be making some more techno on the Digitakt II. So I'm going to limit myself to the Digitakt II and also limit myself to using my own sample and preset pack, which is available in the video description below. So we've got the raw techno sample pack, which can be used obviously with any sampler or DAW. And then we've got the Digitakt specific preset pack called Substance, which is 64 basses and synthesizer presets that uses single cycle waveforms and allows you to create actual melodies and bass lines as you would with a synthesizer on the Digitakt II, and essentially turns your Digitakt II into a synthesizer. So it's really cool kind of way of working, and also those presets come with modulation, performance macros, and also breath controller performance macros. So you're able to expressively play around with the patches as well. So what we're going to do then is we are going to just jump in and start to make something. In the last video, I started with the percussion and then we added the bass. But I think this time what we might do is we might start with maybe just a kick drum and something melodic. I'm kind of feeling a bit acidic, like we need to do some acid of some sort in this next one. So what we could do then is just stick down, you know, a 4/4 kick drum. Let's go into the sample banks and just find an empty slot. And we'll go in there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use C, because I think this one's completely empty. There we go. And then it's just easier and quicker to get to. Let's go down to the raw techno sample pack that I've added here. And again, we're going to use the drum one shots and the kick drums. So these are all in the key of F, which makes it easy to... Actually, they're not in the key of F, are they? The Synth kick drum preset pack is all in the key of F. These ones have all got different keys. So let's just maybe just start with something quite dubby and low. I like that, actually. C sharp, maybe we could work with that one. That's naughty, very dense and peaker sounding. So we'll go with that. And I always tend to add a bit of overdrive. Just gonna soften that transient a little bit. And we can make this as long or short as we want. Because I want to come up with like an acid bass line between, we'll keep it around there for now. I'll just turn my headphones down a little bit. We might change this kick afterwards, but we'll stick with that for now. And then what I'm going to do now is look at a bass line or an acid sequence or something along those lines. Doesn't have to sound like a 303. What I'm going to do is just find a synth sound that is kind of close to like an acid sound, and then we can always up the resonance and play around with some note slides as well. So let's have a quick listen to these. So we're in C sharp, because the kick's in C sharp. It's quite cool. That other one earlier is a good starting point. That one actually, we'll go for that. So that's like, I called it Fatty after the Slim Fatty. I used to have a Slim Fatty and I thought it kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, with this, what we could do is obviously give it a bit more. Give it a bit more oomph with the resonance. We're not using a square. I think that's more like a sawtooth. So it's not like, I love the sound of a square waveform. So maybe what we could do is cheat a little bit here and go away from the preset slightly. And you can see here I'm actually using acid square. I am wrong. Let me have a listen to that properly. Bit reduction's on. So let's just bring that bit reduction down a little bit. That's the beauty of these presets. You can go in and just mess around with them a little bit and tweak stuff. So that's a bit more square sounding now. Yeah, there we go. nice little acidy sound. So what I'm going to do to start with is come up with like a melodic sequence in between the kicks, and then what we can do is we can add some note slides and some filter movement. We can lock the filter as well. So let's just go for it, basically. What I might do is make some of these a bit longer as well. So like this one, we can make it 2, maybe that one. Should leave that one quite short. Let's play around with the notes now as well. So so we can hear a bit of delay coming through there, because I remember with this synth sound, what I did was on the, let me try and find it, where is it? Is it key tracking? Yeah, so key tracking, the higher the notes go, the more reverb, more delay you get. So low, no reverb or delay, higher notes, you get more delay and reverb coming through. So if we go up another octave, it's quite cool actually. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's try some other notes as well. Let's try some note slides. So I think what I need to do actually is do it on that one. Let's copy that there and go higher. Let's change the key tracking a bit. So the key tracking, basically, if I turn it all the way down, this higher note will be lower on the filter. If I turn it all the way up, it'll open up more. That's really nice and grooving now. That's kind of cool as it is, but I'm going to play around a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not really into that. Let's try and go an octave higher on this one. Kind of like that. Trying to get that slide nice so it's grooving. Let's just chuck a hat in now and see what that sounds like. Bring that down a little bit. Maybe do a closed hat. Actually, let's go to bank C. Let's go to the hats now. Sort our levels out. So you can't see my screen, but I'm actually using Pro Q4 by FabFilter, and a little trick is if you mix to the line when it's in 4.5 degree tilt, then you can kind of get a mix really quickly. So what I'm going to do is just look at that. I know you can't see it, but I'm just going to adjust it a little bit so my kick is touching the line, and then I can visually see where things are hitting. Let's just have a quick look at the old synth bass. That was a bit too loud at the minute. So let's get this side chain to the kick now. So I'm going to go into my compressor routing, set these all off, and I'm just going to send the bass to the compressor for now. Go into the compressor, set it up as track 1, bring the attack and release down, listen to just the little, actually we'll listen to the full range of the kick. That's because the kick's quite long at the moment, so what we need to do is just shorten that kick down and it'll give us a tighter groove. See, that's just too long, we don't need that. Let's also sidechain the delay and reverb as well. So if we go to the second page, we can do effects. So you can hear that bouncing as well. Just check that's all working. Yeah, all good. Let's bring the hat back in. Let's change the hat sound now. That's nice. I like that. So we've got a bit of delay going on there. Let's go and take a look at our delay actually and make it into a ping pong maybe. So I'm taking out the lows and the highs on the delay. I think 8 dotted works nicely, as it always does with techno. Let me just go back in there. Am I on the wrong timing? I am on the wrong timing. Let's try that again. Let's just audition some other hats as well. Kind of like this hat, but let's just have a little look down. I like that. Let's go for that one. Just make it a bit tighter. Got a nice little shuffle to that one. Let's just go and see if we can throw in some ghost notes. Just one at the end sounds good. Let's try it on the on beat. That's pretty cool. Might just go in and those on beats just bring the highs down a little bit like that. Let's get a ride in there. Actually, let's just go to C, put it in here. Let's have a listen to some of these. That's kind of cool, I like that. So trick I always do, which I did in the last video, is sometimes I put them on the on beat, but I kind of like it without that this time. That sounds quite nice just like that. That's grooving really nicely now. Let's look at the... Actually, we'll do the swing in a second. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put in some shakers. So let's put them on 7. And we're going to go and find some shakers to stick in here. I've got some shaker samples. And let's just audition these on 16ths like this. And I have no idea where I've just put those. They are somewhere. Let me have a look. I have no idea. I just stuck down a load of hits and I don't know where I put them. There they are. Alright, let's go back to 7. So let's just audition some of these. Kind of like 6. And now what I'm going to do is use the shaker to determine what swing that we want. So yeah, we'll go 53. And then what I'm going to do with these is just play around with the amp. Wonder what it sounds like if we send them to the compressor. Sounds nice with the rides going to the amp as well. So let's just listen to what those sound like. That's without it. That's with the sidechain. Sorry, not the amp. I kept saying amp. The compressor. So them shakers are just coming in very lightly. And then what I'm going to do now is save this pattern. And we're going to take one more look at the bass and see if it could do with some movement on the filter. So just to test it out, I'm just going to quickly put it into live record mode, and we can always reload it if it doesn't sound good. That's cool, we'll go with that. Sorted, done. I love doing live record mode, it always works out. Got a bit more movement now with the sound, which is cool. And we could add a bit more of an organic feel to that just by going into the LFOs. What have we got? I think we've got some stuff set up here already. So you can see the LP4 frequency, it's got a slight variation. So that's why it sounds a little bit more alive and organic. See, these are some of the things that I've baked into the preset. So to make it more analog synthesized sounding. Obviously this is based on the Slim Fatty, so I wanted the oscillators and the filters to be a little bit loose, as if like the Moog needed servicing. It was a little bit more organic, with the circuitry kind of bending a bit. So you can see here we've got a bit of randomization on the frequency, bit of randomization on the tuning, so it's just never quite the same. And then LP4 frequency, why have we got 2 there? I'm not sure. Or maybe that's just to add a little bit more movement in there, maybe. Let's try and bump this up and see what happens. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We'll leave it around there. And then tuning sounds like this. Obviously too much sounds crazy, so you just want to add a real small amount of that. Let's just see what this one's doing. That's pretty cool. Let's see what filter we use. So we're using the low pass 4 filter. Let's try multi-mode. And get it kind of more screechy with that, but I kind of liked it on the low pass 4. Very Moog sounding. I kind of like where that's sitting. That's really nice. That. Let's think about some more stuff we can add then. So obviously we can add some more kind of like percussive sounds, or we could maybe even add in some sort of pad or some other lead sound. Don't want to overdo it too much on the sounds, but we could have a look, see what we've got. So actually, yeah, I want to be on 10. Need to find something that's gonna go with that. That's cool. I'm back on basses again. Let me go back to synths. This can sound quite cool actually if we make it a bit more of like a paddy sound. These are all basses and leads, so I've got to mess around with it a little bit. Just trying to find out what's making that kind of like choppy sound there. Oh, it's because it's sliced up. What we could do is we could go into the its wavetable, change it to something else. Kind of like that for some reason. I think what we should do, it doesn't sound great right now, but what we should do is maybe stick with that back and forth, and then I will mess around with the settings until it works. So what I might do is I might actually record that in. Let's give each track its own pattern length, and then let's just make this one, let's go 4 bars. Actually, no, 2 bars maybe. So I'll record it and see what happens. I'll let it go around again. I think we just need 1 bar of that, you know. I'm gonna go back. It might sound a bit weird. This is just how you do it on any Elektron machine, just piss about until it works. Let's get rid of all of these LFOs and see if that kind of cleans it up a little bit. Just want to check the grid timing on these. That's cool. So what I'm going to do is double this up. Then one's off on the second bar, and then put it back to 16. And that way, when I double it again, it should copy it to the next one. Yep, it has. And what I want to do is on the second one, just move that back, because that sounded really cool. That's cool. That sounds cool, man, as it is. I like that. Let's see what we've got in here with these. This is a trick I used to do on the Analog 4 all the time. When you push the amp modulation into like 1000, 2000 on the multiplier and push the speed up and down, you get this like really crazy like pseudo stereo weird FM thing where it's like going from left and right really fast, and it just sounds so nice on the ears. Like, that's really cool. Leave it on that. I like that. Let's copy it and move it to another LFO, and we can like experiment with changing stuff like it's quite cool. Let's try it on like one of the effects. It's always good with Elektron boxes, just to experiment, like just play around with stuff, see what happens. That's cool. Right, we could add a bit of that in there. So maybe like if we double this up so it copies it over. In fact, it's not, so I'm gonna have to just delete these first, put it back to 2 bars, and then duplicate so it copies it all over. And then what I might do is use this on the very last bar as a bit of like a fill. So I'll show you what I mean. Yes, that's cool. I like that. It's grooving. I'm enjoying this session much more than the first session that we did in the other video that I posted recently. This is like really grooving, man. I'd play this live. This is cool. Let's try a bit of too much for techno. I always find like with my electro tracks, I can really smash the overdrive on this, and also the analog heat as well. Let's just see what analog heat sounds like. But when it comes to techno, I just can't hammer it as much on a full bus. I could do it maybe if I do it dry, wet kind of mix like this. Watch. So if we go. Something like that, and then blend it in. Sounds cool. We'll turn it off for now. Right, anyway, so that's sounding pretty cool, and I think what we'll do now is kind of leave the synthesis alone for a bit. We're coming up to half an hour now, so I don't want this to run too long. I think we've got something cool going there. So what I might do is just have a quick look at the mod wheel and breath controller for the bass, and we'll just see what happens when I open these up, because I pre-programmed these in the presets, in the preset pack. That's cool. Allows me to kind of like open it up a bit more. I can change these as well. Add a bit more chorus maybe. That's cool. So when you download this pack, when you buy it, feel free to just like adjust it however you want for a track you're working on. And you could always save it as a new preset as well. So So I've got some effects there. Can use a bit of my DJM as well. Create a build. That bass is so nice. Right, let's have a listen to track 10 now. More delay and reverb. Oh wow, that's cool. Yes. That's cool. What we need is yeah, exactly that. But I'm gonna choose a snare drum from my preset pack because that is the limitation we're trying to achieve with this. Yeah, let's go for that. There we go. Could even keep it down like this. Bring it up. I don't have enough ability to snap that back yet. So what I might do actually is I might just, because I really need a toilet break, so I might pause this and then I might set up my Pirate MIDI Bridge 6 so that my expression sliders on the right hand side, I can open and close these. And we can do a little bit of a build and see what it sounds like. So I'll come back in a second. Right, so I'm back, and what I did was just quickly went into my Pirate MIDI Bridge 6 and just set up my expression sliders. So as you can see here, when I bring up expression slider 1, it brings up the mod wheel for the bottom row. So I've split these up into 2 rows. Bottom row is for synthesis, that's how I normally work it. Top row is for drums. So you can see the bottom row, they don't move on the top one, but on the bottom one, they all move as a global performance macro. And then with the breath controller, I set this up so that slider 2 controls the bottom row and the top row, so that I can do this to the snare drum that we just made. So what I've done is set it up so as I bring this up, I can bring it up like that for a build, the volume. Pretty cool, right? That sounds pretty cool. So what we can do now is just have a little listen to these effects. So you can't see what I'm doing obviously with the expression sliders, apologies for that, because I've just got this camera set up here so I can't really show you what's going on over there. But yeah, it just allows me to kind of jam that out now. Let's have a look at some other stuff now. So maybe just we'll finish off with just coming up with a bit of percussion. So I might go to track 5 and see if we've got a bit of percussion in here that we can use. I might try something different this time. So in the last video, I chose a couple of percussion sounds and came up with some call and response. This time, I might limit myself as a little creative test to just one single sound, and then I will mess with the Digitakt settings to try and get something cool out of it. Like maybe some like modular texture kind of sounding thing. That's what I'm thinking. Just something that runs in the background on like a 16th note or something. So let's just have a quick listen to some of these. Maybe just something like that. Let's try that and see if we can shape it into something. Let's get rid of that for now. Maybe not that. It's got too much attack on it. That could be a good starting point. Let's take the bass out. So, with this, what I'm thinking is, get rid of some of those lows. Just do something like this. Record it in. Again, we're just messing around till we find something cool. Let's try it with the bass in, see if it works. Yeah, high pass sounds better because it's not clashing with the bass as much. That's cool. Chip pan. It's basically a chip pan. Chip pan techno. I've made so many tracks that sound like this. I don't know if any of you know what I'm talking about, but it's when you put some potatoes. If you're from America, you might know what I'm on about. Some potatoes, fries. There you go, a fry pan. When you chuck them in the pan and it makes that kind of like bubbly sound. Cooking the chips. That's a nice kind of texture now. Sometimes, like, it's better to have some restrictions on what you're doing, because I could have added like 4 or 5 different percussion sounds there to create layers. But sometimes it's about just restricting yourself, saying, I'm going to just use one sound randomly and I'm going to twist it and bend it until it works. And we got there pretty fast, and it's very unique sounding. Like, it sounds cool. Kind of like that. That's cool. There we go. Just an octave higher gives it a nice tone. Let's have another little think if there's anything else to do. That might be it for that. I might just leave it at that. We could open that up as a build. So if I go into the breath controller, go to amp, decay time, yes, let's go. Let's see what it sounds like with a clap. I could just keep going, honestly, but I don't want to make a really long video. I'm really getting into this now, though. This is a really cool little idea. Let's have a look at some claps. Like, a lot of people don't like putting a clap in techno, but sometimes I think it depends on the track. Like, give it something wonky and funky like this, it gives it a bit of drive sometimes. If you're making kind of like hypnotic, rolling, kind of like belling, begging style techno, like, it's cool not to use a clap or a snare on the 5 and the 13 and just to tease people with hats for an hour. But I really love a good like clap in there sometimes. See, that just gives it a really nice bounce. Let's just take out some stuff while we focus on the clap. Let's start at the bottom, one sec. That's nice. Depending on the track you're making as well, just a little tip with claps, right? So if you're trying to make something quite dubby, I know this seems obvious, but if you're making something dubby, go for something like 15. And it's got like a really nice deep drive to it. But if it's something like this with a lot of high-end energy, something like that works a lot better. I like number 2 or 13, I think. Let me just check my levels. Let me just clear up the levels a bit on my Pro Q. Just see where things are sitting. I prefer doing this kind of stuff on monitors, but because I'm on headphones for this video recording, I don't quite trust my headphones as much as I trust my monitors. So I'm just gonna make sure I've got things in the right place. I think it's this synths that I kind of need to look at, and this chip pan techno sound way too high, man. That might sound quite cool chucked into the compressor sidechain as well. Nah, I like it up. Bring it down a bit more. Let's just look at the bass. Could come down just a touch. This is a little bit loud, and also I can see on my screen that it's got a bit too much low end. So I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. There we go. Bring chip pan techno down a little bit more. Nice. What I'm going to do with the clap as well is put some fills in there. Just copy them over. And what I'll do is, on those clap fills, I am going to add a bit of reverb. Not that. Copy that, paste, and then copy the free over to them ones. Don't forget our effects are sidechain, so the reverb delays, they are bouncing with the kick, take the kick out. I think we're done. I think we're done with this. I'd play that out as it is right now. Sounds great. Just have a quick look at the overdrive. Yeah, I'll leave that off. That's with the analog heat. I could also try it with a boom as well. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like with a boom. So with a boom, what I'm going to do is just bring it up on my meters. it down a little bit on my headphones. And then we'll just adjust that compressor and the saturation. That sounds really nice. So with a bit of analog heat and a bit of auto boom, turn them off. Still sounds good, but it's just not as punchy, man, with these on. Yep, cool. I love that. That's great. Great fun. Hope you enjoyed this. I would love to carry on, but we'll leave it there because this is already turned into quite a long video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of this, let me know. I thought I'd do some techno ones for you guys because I'm always doing electro. And to be honest, it's quite nice actually to just do techno. I find techno really easy to make compared to electro. I find electro a lot more challenging because there's a lot more sculpting of the sounds and trying to get them to work together, whereas techno, it's just easy, innit? It's you stick down 4/4 kicks, chuck in some hats. It's just the paint by numbers kind of game, and the interest comes from the effects and the ability to open and close sounds, like the acidy sound, the bass sound that we made earlier. That's where the fun comes in techno. I think Blauan or someone like that in an interview once said that you basically have a structure of, you know, the kicks and the hats, and then it's what you drape on top of it. It could have been Denson Peaker actually, when I watched one of the workshop tutorials online, and I liked that idea. It's always stuck with me that you have this format with techno and then you drape the stuff over the top, and that's what makes it interesting. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you fancy grabbing these packs, the links are in the video description below. I will put an offer on those links, so if you buy them both together, there'll be some sort of offer there. I'll discount them both anyway. So that is the Substance pack, and we've also got I forgot the name of it now, the Raw Techno pack, which is the sample pack as well, which you can use with any machine or sampler or DAW. And there's loads of loops in there as well. Also, if you're interested in going even deeper with me and learning how to make the most out of these machines in a more structured, formatted way, I have got some courses. Digitakt II Mastery course is out. There will be some more parts to that course series coming soon. There's a full Syntax Mastery course series available already. Digitone 2 will be coming shortly, and also the Octatrack Mac 2. And then I've also got Hydrasynth and Typhon as well as some other stuff like Hardware to Release course. There's a Ben Pest course. He's an absolute wizard. He shows you how he plays live. And then I've also got my drum start to finish course, which is mainly in Ableton to learn how I mix and process stuff. So yeah, plenty of stuff available that I've made over the last few years. So go to my website, check those out, and just look out for some deals as well that I'll be putting up now and again. My name's James Orvis from Synth. I'll catch you in the next video.